Across YouTube, there are thousands of videos portraying ghosts, conspiracies, and the paranormal. A crow and his friends will watch and dissect these videos in search of the truth. This is Corvids, Creepers, and Conspiracies. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the pilot episode of Corvids, Creepers, and Conspiracies. And by that, I guess it's not a pilot. I think this is officially episode 1. The pilot was during the Spooktacular. That was what they call a backdoor pilot, where you do a show, but it's like a pilot for a show, but you do it as like part of another show. Like I think Mark and Mindy had a backdoor pilot on Happy Days. There was those episodes of Star Trek Next Generation that took place on Deep Space Nine, you know, stuff like that. Yeah. So that's backdoor pilot. This is your first episode. And
episode 1. This is the official start.
Yes. I am, of course, Corvus Twig, because you're on my channel. But my guest, co-host, whatever you want to refer to them as, is Gremlin Bon. We had to have a gremlin on this first pilot episode.
I'm so excited. I love conspiracy and ghost videos. And even dumb conspiracy videos.
Today, I think is mostly going to be in the creepers category. So what were you wondering about this show? What this show is we will be watching videos from YouTube. And most of them are going to be like ghost videos caught on tape. But we also might watch ones that's like, are these pyramids in Antarctica really pyramids built by an ancient civilization? And you know, stupid stuff like that. And we're going to now there are channels that do this kind of same thing, but I haven't seen a VTuber channel do it. Therefore, this is a completely 100% original. And
we're OGs here.
Do I have the know-how of, like, say, there's a great YouTube by the name of Minuteman, who's an actually like professional archaeologist, and his whole thing is debunking shows. He's pretty great, but you know, we're gonna do it today. We're gonna have a little fun. We're gonna throw some humor into it, and but here's the thing: is like a lot of those shows, they do their research, they take their time. I'm going into all these videos blind. I have not watched any of the videos that we are about to watch today. So I'm just going to have to hope that YouTube's content is keeps it safe for Twitch, which should be. These why are we in an escape room? Well, because we had to have a creepy atmosphere, and this is the creepiest room here at Corvus Twig Studios at CTTV. So we had to have a creepy little room.
Yeah, we're just in the basement.
The door is locked. So Bon will not be able to leave until we're done recording. And I'm
Don't tell Dre and Kraka, but we're actually hiding out in the Draken basement right now. We snuck down here.
Okay, just because I signed a contract that signed over all of the rights of the CTTV studio to Draka Insurance doesn't mean that this is their basement. This photo, the picture in the background is actually a photo I took myself of a local business in Minnesota, and I thought they had.
Twig made all these things.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
I like to make all these things because, I mean, am I as good of an artist as Bon here? No, but I got some good skills.
Listen here, you're good at what you do. These are really cute, and they have like a really cute feeling to them. I like them. They have like a nice They have a nice feeling to them. I like them.
Yeah, this nice murder basement feeling. It's cozy. Yeah, it's cozy.
I love a cozy murder basement.
Who doesn't love a good cozy murder basement?
It's
where all the best murders have. So
exactly.
So we're gonna watch some videos, and what I have right now is, so I actually found a 4 hour and 50 minute long compilation video. Don't worry, this episode is not going to be 4 hours and 50 minutes long. We're aiming to have most of these episodes be about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes long. But I figure with this 4 hour and 50 minute video, I could probably get several episodes out of this. So we'll watch enough videos, and then we'll pause it between each one or during each one and do some rewinding maybe. Oh God, I just realized if it's 4 hours and 50 minutes, that's going to make rewinding and finding the right spot a pain in the butt. Yeah,
that is true.
I'll deal with it. It'll be fine.
Figure it out as we go.
Figure it out as we go. Hey, this is a pilot episode. We got a little bit to figure out here, but we're gonna have fun. I hope you're all gonna have fun watching, cause yeah. And if you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe and share it with your friends. I hate begging for stuff like that, but it actually really does help a lot.
Do not feel guilty. Like and subscribe, or else.
Like and subscribe, and y'all better like and subscribe and follow Bon. Although I have a feeling everybody who's currently in the Twitch audience already is.
We share a lot of audience members.
We got a great community. We do really have a great community around us. We each have Discord channels. When both Bon and I have Discord channels that we share with other VTubers. Yeah. So it's fun.
We got a good we got a good community between us.
VTuber communities are good until they get too big and toxic. Especially VTuber communities where the VTubers are over the age of 30. I don't know how old you are, Bon. I don't know if you're a child. I'm turning 40.
I'm 27.
Child. Is Kraka your mom?
What? No. Kraka's my grandma.
Grandma, yeah.
Kraka's literally my grandmama.
Oh, we love Kraka.
All
right. Well, I'm going to bring down the screen now. And I haven't found a good way to drag this down exactly straight up and down. Like, I don't know if
you're in OBS, you could use your arrow keys.
Yeah, but then it goes like this slow.
If you hold shift, it should go faster. It's like in the in a classroom when you're here. Let me turn on my time.
I should just pull it down super slow, but I've already done that bit on Sunday Dusk, so.
There we go. My tentacles aren't on the way now. Okay. I've sent them to someone else.
Appreciate that. All right, well, we're going to get to it now and watch our very first video. So.
Yippee!
Here we go.
Let's do it.
Dead man's wheelchair. Staff from a hospital in Udon Thani, Thailand got the shock of their life when they viewed CCTV footage that appeared to show the wheelchair of a former patient moving around the outside of the hospital by itself. The video was captured on May 23, 2020. After viewing it, staff are convinced the wheelchair is being used by the ghost of its former owner, who just recently passed away at the hospital. Take a look.
Okay. All right. First impressions. A wheelchair moving on its own makes you think electric wheelchair, but that doesn't seem to have enough space or chunkiness around the wheels. I don't see how it could be a drivetrain. So this is interesting.
It's definitely a manual one, because usually the motors for an electric one, you'd have it on the back.
Yeah, and there's definitely not. There's no motor there, so that's interesting. So I don't see this being a remote control thing. But they say it's like at a hospital. It's just like, hospital or abandoned warehouse? What is this place? I mean,
yeah, I was gonna say it's a pretty like scary looking hospital.
I mean, it is at night. So I've seen cars in the background, so part of me does make this think this could be outside. This does seem like it's outside with like a roof on it, like it's like a covered garage. So.
Yeah, it's like the port where people can come.
I mean, the creepy music in the background is obviously added in post.
Huh.
Okay.
The director of the hospital confirmed that it is a manual wheelchair, and there was no way anyone could be controlling its movements remotely.
Okay.
He also said that the wheelchair had been donated to the hospital by the deceased man's family after he passed away. In Thailand, the belief in ghosts is relatively common, as the nation has a rich spiritual culture built on many myths, legends, and tales of the spirits of those that have died. With that in mind, the hospital is planning to hold a Buddhist holy event to say prayers and pass respect to the spirit of the former owner of the wheelchair, in the hope that it may help to put his restless spirit to rest.
Yeah, the camera filming the screen
So
is
was this
definitely
the former
shaking.
owner of the wheelchair having a last ride around the hospital grounds? Or something else?
Look at
what
the
do you
date.
think?
Something 3/20/20 Saturday. Okay, so my thoughts on that video is look, in terms of spook factor and debunkability, like, okay, I think we're gonna do a thing. We're gonna rate videos on a scale of 1 to 10.
Okay.
1 is like, this is so stupid, this is so fake, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. 10 is, I'm legitimately starting to believe in ghosts now because of this video.
Uh-huh.
I might give this one like a 6, because
I'm leaning towards that end too, because at first I was like, no, that's stupid. That's being pushed from the corner. But the way that it pulls backwards, so I don't know if you've ever like pushed a manual wheelchair.
I have.
When they're not full with someone. If someone were to like have something tied to that and they were pulling on it, the wheels wouldn't spin like that.
My best debunking brain, I think this was wind. Because it clearly looked outside, as Hasio pointed out in the comments. The camera is shaking. Yeah, Bentai also pointed that out. So I think it was, like I said, I think it's an outdoor thing with just like a cover on top of it, which almost creates like a wind tunnel effect.
Yeah.
Like wind gets trapped in there. So I think this was swirling winds blowing it around. Yeah,
It could have easily been during like a tropical, like there could have been some kind of storm. I mean, it's Thailand; they get a lot of storms.
The actual
It could
camera
have
wasn't
been a windy night.
Either way, it's one of those things where the wind is like my best skeptic explanation for it, but I'm not certain. And moving around on it, and it's the way it moved, I think, was kind of interesting.
Yeah, because I was like really quick to think like, oh, someone just pushed it, but the way it moved like there was weight in the chair. Because those kind of wheelchairs, when they're pushed like when there's nothing in them, the wheels tend to skid if you were to just like shove it.
Yeah.
Whereas if someone's in there, it keeps it weighted and it keeps the wheels spinning. And I didn't see the wheels skid or slide at all. That's why I was kind of like,
But however, like the back of it kind of acts as a sail, and I think it being pushed with a broad surface area would cause it to move somewhat like that.
And the video could have been sped up.
And
that chair could have been moving
everything
slower.
that the narrator said could have been a lie.
Aha! It could have been moving slower than what we saw, to be honest.
Yeah. So
because it's at night, we can't really tell. And I don't think there was an actual clock on. Like it said the date, but not the time.
Yeah. Well, I think it was security cam footage, and I think, as Hasios pointed out, I believe it was. There was. It was like at 5 a.m.
Okay, but it wasn't down to the second. It just said like 5 a.m.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the thing, is a lot of these videos have like a lot of stuff over. Well, this person says this person says this, and we need to remember that the narration saying that somebody here said this could all be lies, could be completely made up. Yeah. But interesting video. That was better than any of the ones we watched during the Spooktacular.
Yeah, that one had a good amount of like eeriness, but also realistic to it, especially in I'm someone who does believe to a degree in the spiritual aspect of things, and the way that they framed it and where it was, it did feel more real than the other ones we saw the other week.
Yeah, creepy video. So we're off to a good start. Good start.
Yeah, yippee!
All right, number 1. I'm glad that these are numbered. That'll make it easier to remember my spot.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, we see the scariest place imaginable, a retirement home. All right.
The Eagle's Nest Hotel is a budget-style hotel located in Quincy, Illinois. It doesn't appear to have any history to indicate it might be haunted, and the building is not particularly old. However, despite this, employees have reported strange goings-on at the hotel, claiming that they have spotted shadows out of the corner of their eyes and heard unexplained disturbing giggling sounds in the corridors. And apparently, the maintenance man is targeted the most, with weird things happening to him all the time. So it was no surprise to them when a mysterious shadow was caught darting out of an elevator on the hotel's CCTV. Take a look.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh, I see you. I see you, ghost.
Oh, come on. They're doing the inverted colors.
The footage was originally posted on Facebook on the 15th of May 2020 by the general manager of the hotel, although it didn't get that much attention until a few YouTube channels picked it up. Those that have viewed the footage believe it to be genuine, and many believe the apparition is that of a child. Some have suggested...
I agree. It is that of a child. I think the elevator door opened up, a kid saw something that they wanted off of it and said, I'm going to quick steal something in there. They ran out, they grabbed it, and they ducked back. I also think the footage is sped up a little bit.
It definitely sped up a bit.
I think so.
It has the makings of something. Okay, I'm saying this is someone who's had to edit video footage at multiple jobs. This is sped up 100% because you can see it in how frames and the frames are moving.
Yeah, so because the in and out duck is probably the creepiest part about it.
Yeah.
So I think this is just a video of like a 4-year-old kid quickly ducking out of the elevator, grabbing something from the cart and ducking back in, and then because of the distance from where it's shot at and the poor lighting, they just kind of look like a black shadow, but they were in shadow because there's not, you can see like the doorway there is darker than the rest of it.
Yeah.
So you have a darker area, a kid runs in and out, grabs something quick, you speed up the footage, it makes it look like a little shadow figure. That's what I'm thinking.
And frames being dropped, if it's just some shitty like hotel camera, they drop frames. They're not high quality cameras. So if something moves fast enough, it will drop frames.
Mm-hmm. Old analog endless tapes are the best for those.
It's a demon or an imp.
A demon or an
There
imp?
could be a plausible explanation, although at the moment...
Yeah, you can just tell that's just sped up
Let us know your thoughts in the comments.
It's sped up enough too that you can't really see if anything moves, like if they grabbed anything, and that's what makes it creepy. Like the sudden jerky movement makes it creepy.
Yeah. So, yeah, child running out and grabbing something from the cart, and look at the top of the frame.
Oh, look at the top of the frame. What's on the top of the frame?
I don't, Sorry, too late. I don't want to try and...
You don't want to try and fight with it?
Here's the thing. If I change the window size to give me more of a progress bar, it'll screw up my... As you can see, it goes off of OBS. We don't want that.
No. What'd you see on the top of the frame?
Well, yeah,
why don't you tell the class?
What'd you see?
Tell the class what you saw.
We demand to know. Yeah, it's not important. You know what? People can rewind it on YouTube. Anyway, I really like that these are numbered because there's a box drawn around the elevator that was a different color. Interesting.
That is interesting, actually. That means
they
that
darkened
it could
the
be
frame.
posted.
They darkened the frame to the left of it to make it... Yeah.
So that is, if there was a box around it and it's darker, that means they did mess with the brightness and the contrast of that to make it look like that, and they could easily have something, a filter over top, to make it look creepier.
Yep, that's what people do. Can you believe who would do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies?
People would lie on the internet?
But anyway, say, I love that these
You mean you're not a bird?
I love that these are all numbered so I can remember where I left off for future episodes.
That is really good, actually, because you can just note it after.
Yeah. All right. 118. All right, so that one, I'm gonna give that one a 3 out of 10.
I would say if I were to rate it simply on the effects of the video and trying to be creepy, I would lean higher, but because we're trying to say like the overall, feel for it, I think I'd put it at a 4 because okay, at a first glance, yeah, that's a creepy Facebook video. I'm sure my mom would send that to me and be like, "Oh my god, look at this ghost child." But it's if you look at it longer than 3 seconds, it's obviously very fake. And the naming of demons and imps in a random hotel, that's not how that works.
Yeah, it's like, some people think that this might be a demon. Well, okay, I don't care what they think. What's your evidence?
Yeah, what's your evidence? Ghosts and demons have to exist under very important, like, special circumstances if you were to actually have one. So, try better. Do better.
All right, 118.
118.
The Trampoline Ghost.
Ooh, trampoline ghost.
In 2019, a video was posted on Reddit that caused a bit of a stir. The person who uploaded it titled it, "This video was filmed by a friend of my friend's brother a few years back." In the left corner of the video, you can see a figure dressed in white with black hair crawling out from under the trampoline.
Is there a video playing?
To this day, we have no idea who the person was.
It's
It
fine.
says 118
and focus on the top left corner of the
does.
trampoline.
I don't think they've shown the video yet.
Okay.
Wait.
Are we sure?
Did it?
Did it freeze?
I think it froze. It broke. It broke.
The ghosts! We're onto them and they're upset!
Dead man's wheelchair.
Okay. Nope,
Staff
we
from
don't
a
want this
hospital
again.
in
Okay.
Udon Thani, Thailand, got the shock of their life when they viewed
Where's up? Oh, there we go.
with weird things happening to him all the time. The person who uploaded it titled it, "This video was filmed by a friend of my friend's brother a few years back."
There we go.
In the left corner of the video, you can see a figure dressed in white with black hair crawling out from under the trampoline.
Oh, can you
to this
see
day,
the video,
we have
Bon?
no idea who the person was.
Yes, yeah, I can see it now.
Okay,
it shows a Reddit page.
And focus on the top left corner of the
Discord.
trampoline.
Oh, yeah, I was watching it through the little tab. Oh, wait, I don't have sound. No, wait. No!
There. No, you should be able to see it, Bon.
There we go. Now I can hear it. Maybe?
Oh.
There we go.
The 5-second Snapchat clip is believed to have been filmed in Norway in 2017 and appears to show someone jumping from a building or a ladder onto the trampoline. The question is, who was crawling underneath as he landed? The clip certainly divided opinion on Reddit, with some convinced it was fake and others completely freaked out by it. Some also pointed out the resemblance to Samara from The Ring. To us, there seems to be one of 3 explanations. It's either a human that they didn't notice under the trampoline at the time, a really good edit, or one of the clearest full-bodied apparitions of all time. Let us know your thoughts.
My thoughts is there was a person there, a human being, not paranormal in the slightest, but creepy. There's basically,
I can't hear you.
I think the video is unaltered and genuine. But yeah, I think fake story around a normal video. I think that's pretty much it. Now, here's the thing: is somebody could easily be like, "Hey, I'm going to post a video of me jumping off my roof in it." But wouldn't it be funny if we put something creepy in the background and then people would start discussing it? And so, hey, let's have our friend here dress up like Sadako or Samara or the Ring girl, and just have her like crawling through the weeds in the background, and people will notice her, and it'll be creepy. Yeah.
Twig, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
You muted Discord.
I did? Well, everybody else can hear me.
Yeah, now I can.
Hey, the important thing is that people on stream could hear me.
Yeah, I opened up. I unmuted your stream to make sure you didn't mute yourself entirely.
Well, anyway, we got ourselves a raid. We got School Hime's. School is good friend. Foxy little streamer. I always play VR chat with School. The Scurry Nights,
Nice.
Good times. Well, welcome everybody to the pilot episode of Corvids, Creepers, and Conspiracies. Hey, we got Maury. Hi, Maury. Maury the Gremlin is the person who created the theme music for Twig's Missing Movies. So, welcome, Maury.
Oh, neat.
So, Maury does great stuff. She's amazing. Also, Maury does great 3D modeling work. Yeah, check out Maury. Maury's awesome. But also check out Scoo. Scoo's awesome. Well, welcome everybody. We're so happy to have you here. Thanks for the raids. We're watching scary videos and trying to explain them. So everybody, raiders, let's watch number 117.
Haunted
sit down
Louisiana
and get
House.
on.
In 2020,
Ooh.
Sylvia McLean, the co-owner of a rundown 1930s four-bedroom home in Youngsville, Louisiana, posted on Facebook that she was giving the house away for free after she had struggled to sell it. But the post was soon inundated,
Those windows are
not
almost
with potential
lost.
offers, but with comments from locals and former residents who shared their paranormal tales of the property. Some even compared it to the Amityville horror house. The last tenant to live in the property was a woman named Gypsy Dawn, who said that the house is quite unsettling, especially if you don't enjoy communicating with the spirit world. Another former resident, Dawn DeClout, also replied to the post, claiming that the ghost that haunts the house is her great-grandmother, Adele. She said her family owned the plot the house was built on for more than 100 years, and it's thought the ghost of Adele still haunts the building. Although she was quick to point out Adele was not menacing at all. Apparently, she was only about 4 foot 9 inches and weighed about 100 pounds. Adele lived to be almost 90, and she made her presence felt in the house by digging in the pots when stuff was cooking on the stove. And it wasn't unusual to hear her all the time jangling the pots and lifting up the lids when stuff was cooking. Others commented that the house was renowned for its Gatsby-style parties in the 1940s and 50s. After hearing about the hauntings, paranormal investigators Cindy Parr and Greg Matlock from New Orleans visited the house to see if they could find out what was going on. And it's fair to say they got more than they bargained for. Take a look at what happened when they spent a couple of nights in the house.
Is anybody in here? Can you just give us a sign of your presence if you are, please? Oh, no way, no way, no way. Smelly, you can stop moving the door, please. I'm sorry.
Please move the door.
Forgive me for that.
Stop moving the door.
Kidding! I was kidding! Stop!
Something's definitely in there. What the?
Can't see the entire door. Can't see
behind
the door.
Apparently that door was the door to Adele's
there are people
bedroom.
who make a living off of doing
The pair
ghost
also
stuff
claimed
and
the
could
paranormal
easily
activity in the house drained
have
the
an
new batteries in
incentive
their
to fake
equipment
it.
and shut out a light. And in one of the other bedrooms, they were confronted by an evil spirit that stood beside a closet. Greg described it as a black mass that definitely wasn't a shadow. He didn't think it was Adele either, as it was too big, standing about 6 feet. They also claimed they could hear scratches on the walls, growls, and a strange urine-like smell coming from upstairs. Eventually, after 2 nights, the pair had seen enough and fled the house. They claimed the feeling they got from the house drained them, and they were exhausted when they left, saying the house was definitely the worst building they'd ever been in. It later transpired that the offer of a free house wasn't quite what it seemed either, as anyone interested could take ownership of the house free of charge, but they would have to relocate the house at their own cost, something that would cost in the region of $80,000 to take apart and move, and a further $40,000 to reassemble. However, eventually, it did get an offer from a man in the construction business, who was going to move it himself and put it on his family's land for his daughter. He was unconcerned about the history of the building and doesn't believe in ghosts, so let's hope they don't decide to relocate with him.
That was it.
That was it.
1 out of 10. That was.
Yeah, I'm giving that a 1 out of 10.
A door we can't even. The only footage we got was a door opening where we couldn't see all of the door. We couldn't see behind the door. And then just creepy stuff that's the word of paranormal investigators who are financially incentivized to say spooky stuff happened. That's
like, we're not even gonna get a photo of this apparent black mass that they saw.
I know, right? And yes,
like, come on.
Come
Anyone
on.
can fake a door opening slowly, especially because they don't show anything after. Like, they didn't even walk in the room and look behind the door and go around the room. I hate when they do this shit. I know why they do it. But, like, come on.
Come on. Come
do
on.
it.
Well, sorry, Raiders, that was the first one you had to saw. We had some much better videos earlier on, but
yeah,
hey,
we had a good one
if you rated in with
before.
Scoo and you're still here, and if you are Scoo and you're still here, we appreciate you.
Thank you for staying.
Thank you. This is a good show. All right. Well, let's hope 116 was better than 117.
Yeah.
This next one seems a little too good to be true, but nonetheless, it's still terrifying. The chilling footage appears to have been captured on a security camera and was posted on Facebook. It shows someone or something peering through a window.
What is that?
The curtains can be seen moving, and it appears to be a stormy night. Then something falls from a shelf, which wakes the man up.
What the fuck? Oh, I don't like that. That gives me... I don't like that.
That's spooky.
I don't like the feeling it gives me in my spine.
Yeah, there's clearly... I mean, a person standing behind the window while someone else sleeps is creepy as hell.
Yeah, I think that's what is creeping me out, because right now I'm currently facing my back to my window in my office, even though I'm on the second floor. It looks like a horse, almost. What is that? What the fuck are its eyes glowing?
It does kind of look like an alien. It's a gray.
The eyes were glowing. What is that? Is it coming into the window?
Thanks, Red
Oh wait,
Arrow.
what's that arrow pointing at?
Another window in the room.
Ooh! Oh! Oh, I don't like that!
No, it's the guy from Spirited Away.
Yeah. Oh, it pulled the blankets off of him. Ooh! Ew,
The person's
it's still there.
We think this reaction is very fake.
We're unsure where it was filmed, and although it's more than likely fake, we still found it pretty creepy.
It's
Yeah.
amusing.
What's your thoughts on it?
Like,
okay, so it was really creepy until the lights came on. I was genuinely feeling unsettled just because the nature of it, and you weren't able to make out what the thing was. They did a good job until the lights came on. If they hadn't turned the lights on, I would have given that video like an 8 out of 10 for just the unsettling factor.
Yeah, because like the concept of you're sleeping, like obviously the people in the windows were people and not ghosts.
Yeah.
But the idea of you sleeping and somebody walking up to your window and looking in while you're sleeping is unsettling. Quite unsettling.
Yeah. And like something watching you in your sleep. Like they did a good job with the curtains pulling, because a big mistake a lot of these ghost video makes are pulling from the bottom of the curtains. And that's a really easy point to pull, and that's why people will like tie fishing line to the bottom of a curtain, and they were obviously pulling from the top of the curtain. And they did a good job with it, and the things falling off, and like obviously it was a humanoid thing in the window, but you weren't really able to make out what it was. They did a good job, and then they had the lights come on.
Yeah, but I think this is clearly something where some people said, hey, let's make a spooky video, and I think they did a pretty good job of it.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't convince me ghosts are real, but
no.
You know, I think it's I'm gonna give this one a 4 out of 10.
I'm gonna give it 4.5 because it did make me feel unsafe for a minute.
Yeah, maybe I'll bump it up to 5 because I did get some creepy vibes, especially the thing moving in the side window. But then with the other one with the white face, that looked like the Spirited Away guy, that was just silly.
Once the lights came on, it like took off all the points. If they had just ended the video with him maybe waking up in the night and seeing it in the night when the lights were still off, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah. Still, pretty interesting. Pretty interesting.
That was a good one, though. That was a good one for feeling spooked.
Yeah. All right. 115.
The Death Tunnel.
Oh!
Beneath Waverley, there is a
Ooh.
500 feet concrete tunnel
true.
that connects the basement of the hospital to the foot of the hill. On one side, the tunnel has stairs, and on the other, there was a motorised winch system that could be used to transport any supplies that were needed at the sanatorium. During the height of the epidemic, it's thought that one patient was dying every hour at Waverley Hills, so the staff were having to dispose of several bodies every day. They couldn't get the bodies out of there fast enough, and they were having to pile them up in the cold food storage room. It was soul-destroying for the patients to see so many dead bodies leaving the sanatorium, and it caused them to give up hope. It was decided that the most efficient way to get rid of the dead was to take them from the morgue, place them on carts, and send them down the tunnel by the winch system at night. Once at the bottom of the hill, the bodies were placed into a hearse and taken away, without any of the patients being aware of anything. For obvious reasons, the tunnel became known as the Body Chute, and many ghost hunters have reported seeing figures walking the tunnel and of hearing footsteps when no one else is there. I honestly can't imagine a more eerie atmosphere. Room 502.
Wait.
Oh. I guess that was just to kind of talk about how creepy it is.
So there's no footage, no creepy video. That's just, hey, there was a tunnel at the sanatorium and people said creepy stuff happened there.
Yeah, which is okay. So like the sanatorium creepy tunnel, a lot of hospitals and sanatoriums do have them for transporting people without having to leave the building, and I find them very creepy and unsettling to think about. It's kind of sad to think that someone's last moments were carted through a deep dark tunnel. But
it's an unsettling, creepy thing, but it doesn't, it's not a ghost thing.
That isn't a paranormal video?
There was no video at all, just a bunch of still images. So 1 out of 10, I guess, but
yeah, I hate to give something like that 1 out of 10 because I find them very interesting, but 1 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, I find the history of those sanatoriums fascinating in a dark way.
It's morbid curiosity.
But all right, well.
On the 5th floor, as well as 2 nurses' stations, a linen room, a medicine room, and a pantry, there is a room that was notorious. In 1928, Mary was the head nurse at Waverley. She became pregnant by one of the doctors, but he was already married and wanted nothing to do with Mary or his baby. Mary was dragged to the operating theatre, held down, and forced to have an abortion by the doctor and 3 other men.
Jesus.
But something went wrong, and the men panicked. They dragged Mary, her clothes covered in blood, and hanged her outside room 502. It was the doctor and father of the baby that kicked out the chair from beneath her. The aborted baby was supposedly taken away and thrown down the body chute in the basement. It was then hidden in the coffin of one of the TB patients, who was subsequently sent home for burial. People who have entered this room often complained of nausea and stomach pains. Shapes were often seen near the window from outside, and lights have been seen to flicker on and off.
I have heard of Waverly.
Mary's ghost has also been seen near room 502, perhaps
ghost.
searching for a lost baby.
Okay, creepy story, horrific story. Again, no video. I guess maybe we need a trigger warning on this because that's a pretty dark subject, darker than. But, we're talking ghost stuff. There's going to be dark history behind it, so...
Yeah. And, I mean, when you hear about ghost stories, a lot of the true... I mean, when I say true, I say this loosely, but when people experience things, it tends to be things related to very dark incidents.
Yeah.
Damn, that was...
Yeah, not too many stories of... Betty was loved by everyone in her community. She was a kind, generous soul, and she died at home surrounded by loved ones. Her spirit now haunts the house. And this is like, you don't hear too many of those stories.
Yeah, sweet old granny now terrorizes the sweet family living in the house.
Sweet old granny would terrorize her grandchildren when they didn't use her recipe exactly.
Yeah, whenever they put that would be Dre's ghost.
Yeah.
I have heard about this story though, actually. I'm like 99% sure Ghost Adventures with Zach Bagans might have done something on this one.
The only Baggins I care about are Frodo and Bilbo.
Yeah, he's a bit of a shithead. I'm not a huge fan of him. I used to watch his show though.
He's definitely a Sackville Baggins.
Yeah, I do not like him, but I'm pretty sure they did do a story on this, and there have been, I can't remember the exact, because it's been like 15 years or something since I last, maybe less since I last saw that, but there were definitely odd events that would happen, and people definitely would, like, the air would feel heavier, and you get the typical, like, energy zapping that you get with a wrongly treated spirit that you hear about.
Well, interesting story. Creepy, fascinating story. But there was no video or even photos, so 1 out of 10.
1 out of 10. You gotta give the evidence.
Timmy. It was not only adults that caught tuberculosis. Many children also became victims of the disease too.
Is this going to be a lot of history about Waverly?
50 beds was built at Waverly to house them.
Waverly does have
the
a lot of problems.
pavilion was not only for the sick children, but also for any children of patients who had no one else to look after them. The children's wing was on the 5th floor, and quite worryingly, it was right next to the mental ward, where patients with TB of the brain were kept. There was a play area on the roof of the building, with a set of swings where the children could play. Timmy was a healthy 10-year-old boy, and one of those unlucky children whose parents had both been admitted to Waverly with tuberculosis. Having no one else to care for him, there was no choice but for him to stay with his parents. Timmy loved to play ball with the nurses, and he would spend hours chasing his ball along the hospital corridors. While running after his ball on the roof one day, he fell the 5 floors to his death. It was thought that a prisoner was on the roof the same time as Timmy was killed and pushed Timmy to his death, but an investigation could not prove that the prisoner was responsible. Reports are rich that Timmy still likes to play ball, and sounds of the bouncing ball can be heard echoing along the floor in the corridors. Visitors to the now derelict building often bring toy balls with them so that they can play games with Timmy, and the balls are often seen rolling along the floor when no one is there.
You want to play a game?
Alright,
just another interesting story, but 1 out of 10.
The treatments were brutal. Many painful procedures were performed on the patients at Waverly Hills.
These ones as long
there
as
was no anaesthetic available there.
They're interesting.
So these horrific procedures were carried out whilst the patients were awake.
Hi, AJ.
Doctors would remove some of the patient's ribs to open up the chest area and collapse the lung. Sometimes up to 8 ribs would need to be removed, as it was regarded too dangerous to remove no more than 3 ribs at a time. It could take several surgeries before the procedure was finally finished. Sometimes air or nitrogen was injected into the chest area, or a balloon was expanded inside the chest cavity until the lung collapsed. The gas had to be topped up every few weeks to keep the lung from inflating again.
Scares me.
As a final last resort, a lobectomy operation would be performed. Parts of the infected lung would be cut away, and sometimes the whole lung would be removed. As you can imagine, only 5% of patients survived this procedure. Sometimes the TB bacteria would travel to the brain and affect the nervous system. This could cause patients to become mentally ill, and they would be taken to the electroshock therapy room for treatment. Electric current would be used to induce seizures and help to ease the patient's symptoms.
The first chainsaw was
with the onset of antibiotics, it was no longer necessary for Waverly to
look at all those delicious candies.
And in 1961, it closed its doors as a TB treatment facility.
I'm pretty sure it was for birth.
After a quarantine period, Waverly Hills was reopened in 1962 as Woodhaven Medical Services, and was essentially a nursing home for the elderly, as well as the mentally ill. Bizarrely, many treatments, like electric shock therapy and lobotomies, were performed on the aging patients for unknown reasons. These patients were stripped, locked in their rooms, and often chained up for hours at a time. The facility was infested with cockroaches
it's one of those
and other
things
bugs,
where it's just like it sucks
and the
that we shut
patients were
down all
left
the
to
mental
lie
health
in their own urine
facilities,
and feces.
but also a lot of the mental
Woodhaven
health
was
facilities
closed in
should have been shut
1981
down.
after
It's like we
investigation
need
of
better
abuse
mental
and
health
neglect.
facilities and treatment facilities, but we need to treat the patients with kindness and
The
care
creeper.
and empathy.
It's that
100%.
unshakable feeling that someone is watching you. You can see them out of the corner of your eye,
I have a feeling
but
that
when you
people
quickly
are
turn to
watching
see
us
them,
right
they are
now.
gone.
Oh no.
Many shadow people have been seen both in Waverley itself and in the grounds. One of these shadow people that is claimed to haunt the hospital is a man who hates any visitors. His presence is foreshadowed with a feeling that all of the happiness has been sucked out of the world. Disturbingly, he has no face and crawls around on all fours, more like an animal than a man.
I hate that thing so much.
He's usually seen scuttling along the walls and ceilings of the 4th floor. He
it
runs down the
as far as
corridor
Halloween.
towards visitors, and then runs up the wall to approach upside down. He then hangs from the
I'm not
ceiling
flexible
above
enough
his
to
intended
do the
victim
proper
growling.
movements for that costume.
Demonic entities are
I
said to be
was
drawn to
before
places
when
that
I
have
was
a lot of
younger,
paranormal activity.
and I
So
could
it
do
could
it really
be
well.
that the creeper, as he is known, is feeding from the energy of the dead. One story tells how the creeper first appeared in order to protect a child that was undergoing painful therapy. Visitors who have felt the presence of the creeper are reported to have been so afraid that they have left the building immediately and never returned. The slamming of doors and unexplained footsteps have been heard when no one is there.
It is a place I would like
sounds
to
of
do
coughing
some
and
urban
crying
exploration.
emanate from the
Just
walls.
seems cool and creepy.
Hollow faces have been seen staring hopelessly out around corners and through the windows. Children are heard to sing nursery rhymes, and doctors in white coats seem to just walk through walls. It seems that all the human suffering
so they
and death
faded in a
that has
doctor
been
right at the end
experienced
there.
over the years has made Waverley Hills Sanatorium a hotspot for supernatural phenomenon. The infamous Waverley Hills Sanatorium still stands today.
Keep
in
showing
Pleasure
that
Ridge
same
Park.
drone footage.
It's now privately owned, and the more adventurous can book ghost tours there. As a consequence of all the pain and death suffered at Waverley, is it any wonder that it's advertised as one of the most haunted locations on Earth? So that's 5 terrifying facts and horror stories surrounding the Waverley Hills Sanatorium,
Cool.
which has been
Hopefully we're
voted
done with
the
Waverly
number
Hills
1
now.
most haunted hospital in the United States. Lavinia Fisher, Charleston. Lavinia Fisher was born in 1793 in Charleston, South Carolina. She grew up to be a charming woman and went on to marry John Fisher. The couple ran an inn just outside of Charleston, known as the 6 Mile House. The inn was popular with traders who stayed there overnight, either on their way to trading goods or on their way back home from business trips. Many of them would be carrying large amounts of cash. The inn was also a favourite refuge for gangsters and highwaymen, and the place became a breeding ground for crime. The Fishers were aware of this and worked with the gangsters to cheat trade
I hope I didn't just pick a video that's nothing but stories. I mean, I like
However,
the stories.
John and Lavinia were greedy.
They're still really good stories. If it is the case, we can just pivot.
Was not enough to satisfy them.
We could always just go to good old Nuke's Top 5.
profit
That's
from
a
the fortune of their
YouTube channel
unsuspecting
notorious
guests.
for having these kind of videos.
Lavinia started using her beauty and charm to lure male visitors.
Maybe I
into
just need
staying
to
at
screen the
inn,
videos ahead of
where
time.
she
I
would
don't know. I
lavish
like going
them
into
with
them fresh
attention and
though.
good food.
You know what I mean?
All
Yeah,
washed down with
I
a
don't
cup
mind
of
these either.
special
They're
tea.
very interesting
Tea
stories.
that was laced with oleander, a toxic shrub that induced sleepiness and even death.
Oleander, also in
Once
Red
her
Dead
guests
Redemption
were
2.
either sleeping
You
soundly
use it to make
or
poison
dead,
arrows and daggers.
John would rob them of their riches.
I've heard Red Dead.
The unfortunate guests that did wake up were stabbed to death, dismembered,
Red
and
Dead
their remains
Redemption
slung in the cellar.
is
There
very
was also
historically.
rumours that trapdoors were installed into the floors
they
under
did
the
their
guests'
homework.
beds.
I mean,
So when guests retired to bed, the door would drop, plunging them to their deaths in the cellar below, allowing John to pillage their cash and valuables. This went on for years, until suspicions were aroused as more and more men disappeared, and locals began to realise the victims had a common factor. Their last known whereabouts was at 6 Mile House.
not 6 Mile House.
In February 1819, a local group gathered and visited the 6 Mile House to inquire about the gang activities that were going on there.
They seem to be on a lot of story mode. I
When
might
they
try
left,
skipping
they were
ahead
satisfied
to
that
like
they
a
had
further
succeeded
bit
in
in the video.
eliminating the
See if
rough
we can get some more
clientele
custom
the
videos
Fishers
there.
were welcoming into their inn. They travelled back to town, leaving one of their members,
This is a clearly
man called
professionally
David
produced
Ross,
television
to monitor
show.
the situation. The next
Clearly.
morning,
I found their next
David
video over
became a
20 minutes
victim
later.
when
Yeah.
2 highwaymen ambushed him. As he was being attacked, he saw a familiar face of Lavinia Fisher and was hopeful she would intervene and rescue him. However, it soon became apparent they were acting on her instruction. Her actions shocked and surprised him, and instead of help he initially expected, Lavinia choked him before smashing a window pane with his head. Luckily, he managed to escape and return to Charleston to share the story of what happened.
Girl boss, gatekeeper.
Just a few hours later, a trader named John Pebbles arrived at the inn looking for a room. Lavinia calmly explained that there was no vacancies, but she invited him in for a break from his travels and offered him tea.
I want to see Kraka in that outfit.
Pebbles despised tea,
I
but
think Kraka
courteously
would
accepted
rock
the
that
cup
outfit.
before discreetly pouring the toxic blend into a plant pot. The Fishers couldn't understand why Pebbles was still awake, so they switched tactics and told him a room had unexpectedly become vacant and invited him to stay. Pebbles accepted the offer, but felt uneasy, and his instincts prompted him to sleep in the room's chair that
Be a good
night.
name for a cat too. This is my
As
cat
he slept,
Pebbles.
he was awoken by a loud crash. When he opened his eyes, he could see the bed intended for his night of sleep had disappeared into the floor. He fled quickly through the window, not looking back until he had arrived on horseback in Charleston, where he told law enforcement about the terrifying occurrence. Pebbles provided a detailed statement that showed some entrance to Boston Harbor. The fort was completed in 1861, shortly after the beginning of the American Civil War, and defended the harbor from 1861 through to the end of World War II.
Maybe doing this big 4-hour, 50-minute video was my big mistake.
As a prison for
I need to do just like a top 5 ghosts
officials,
caught on film
and that is where
video
the
and just
legend of the lady
analyze
in
that
black
one video, you
originates
know?
from.
Yeah,
Mrs.
maybe.
Was
This
a
did
devoted
start
wife
off
who
strong,
continued to haunt
though.
the area for the next 100 years to industry.
Skipping ahead.
Well,
There we go.
Ted, we think you'll be surprised. What else is lingering on your doorstep? Let's take a look.
There we go. Video.
Bunting Nook, Norton, and
Bobby!
its big black dog.
Bobby!
Stories of demonic black dogs are entwined in British folklore. These creatures are not your normal domestic dog, but rather a
would
much
kiss him on
larger
the head.
species, often described as having glowing red eyes and a mysterious supernatural aura about them. Stories of their presence can be found in most countries in the UK. The different regions have different names for the creature, and in Yorkshire they are known as boggards or barguests, and it seems Sheffield has its own experience of the beast. Back in 1846, 16-year-old Alan Glover was savaged to death by a black dog in Bunting Nook, Sheffield. Ever since then, there have been numerous sightings of the demon dog thought to be responsible, which is reputed to haunt the road running through Bunting Nook. According to local legend, the creature appears suddenly out of the darkness.
Yeah, these are
and stands
interesting
in the road,
stories,
causing
but
cars to stop abruptly.
honestly, the guy's voice,
Sometimes stalling
the
their
narrator's
enemies.
voice is very soothing. I could see just
Apparently,
putting
the
this on to
creature
just
has a
calm down at
dislike of
night.
men and will attack them if they get out of the car. The creature also has the ability to turn into mist if it feels
look at that
threatened or a human
nose.
approaches it. Numerous local residents and police officers have apparently spotted the dog over the years
Alright,
and describe it as extremely large with huge devilish saucer-like eyes
I'm gonna
shiny.
pause this video here. I found another video on YouTube. We're gonna watch that.
Okay.
Pivot! We're doing a pivot. We're doing a pivot.
Pivot!
A Jeremy pivot. Wait, that's Jeremy Piven. I'm sorry. Alright.
Pivot.
New source. Window capture. Add existing. Firefox. Okay. Now we're gonna go full screen.
Oh my god, that just jump scared me!
Whoa.
Ah! I don't like that! It's like full screen. It scared the crap out of me. Ah!
Now we take this window here and we shrink it down. And we do a little bit of the crop. A cream of the crop. And the top is still kind of visible, so we'll just crop that down. Get that in frame. There we go, folks. That's how we do it here on Corvids Twig TV. All right. So yeah, there we go. We are cropped. We are good. This is scary. This one looks good. The video is only 13 minutes long. This channel has like a lot of like 30-minute long videos. We don't want to do that. But all right, this is like top 5 scary ghost videos to make yellow pants from Nuke's top 5.
Yellow. What if I'm wearing blue pants and it makes green?
Well, then you will have green pants.
Yay!
because I've always thought it's interesting, the mixing of colors, because you're like, well, you got the primary colors red, green, and blue, or red, yellow, and blue. But then you've got red, green, and blue. But you also have cyan, magenta, and yellow. And it's just like, what are the primary colors? Well, it depends on what you're using. You're using light, you're using pigments, you're using inks. Yeah.
It's a mystery.
All right. Again, I have not watched this video.
Oh, do you have it streaming? Yeah, no.
Oh, here, let me share the window with you so you can hear it.
Yeah.
Thanks for your patience, everybody. This is, I know, not the most ideal way of doing things. Wait, Bentai messaged me. Fix title. Oh, I already did fix title. All right, stop streaming. Share screen.
Stuff is part of the fun in watching a streamer.
All right, there you go.
Is it really a new stream?
Look, this is episode 1. We were going to expect some scuff.
Exactly.
We're expecting scuff. Scuff is going to happen. But hey, you're the best audience. Thanks for sticking around.
You guys all deserve a head pat.
Paolo and Debbie from the popular Italian YouTube channel Pit Paranormal.
Okay, so
I was going to say Pits.
As soon as they say popular YouTube channel or influencer, the giant red flag is immediately raised. People who make a living off of saying that there's paranormal stuff said this thing.
Investigation team attempted ghost summoning in an old house. Allegedly, if done correctly, this ritual is said to summon any supernatural entity residing in a home. The summoning requires one person to sit inside a closed space, like a wardrobe, in the dark, with nothing but a few matches for light. If the summoner hears anything abnormal, they light a match immediately and chant the sentence, quote, "Show me the light or leave me in eternal darkness." So, somehow, Paolo convinces his girlfriend Debbie to attempt the strange ritual inside a small, cramped wardrobe in the old house.
That's not a wardrobe.
It did not go well.
That's like cupboard. Paul.
Credo che ci sia qualcosa qua nell'armadio con me.
Vuol dire che funziona.
Prossima volta devo prendere dei fiammiferi un pochino più lunghi. Sei qua?
That is not a wardrobe. What's that space behind her?
Mi sembra che stia grattando la parete.
Grattando?
Te lo giuro, ho sentito...
Tu ti rendi conto che io non sento niente di qua?
Yeah, it's a cupboard, not a wardrobe.
No, ora lo sento, forse.
No, I hear it too.
Paolo, sta grattando.
Ok, hai sempre il fiammifero acceso.
Sto continuando ad accenderne, durano pochissimo. Secondo te cosa vuole? Cosa farà?
When a match is the only light in a room, it can seem very bright.
Oh my god.
That was a pretty good jump scare. I'll give them that.
It was.
Where did they learn of this ritual? Probably on TikTok.
Ok. Quindi, cosa è successo?
I know, right? There's clearly a crawl space behind there where they had a third person.
Oh, 100%. This is so fake. Even look at their reactions.
Guarda, mi sta venendo un livido. Guarda.
Veramente.
It didn't even grab her
Mi sta
there.
venendo un livido alla mano, raga.
Non lo vedono, guarda.
Yeah, I saw that bruise.
Non sto scherzando, mi sono fatta veramente male. Cioè...
Bullshit.
Non lo vedete, ma
Sì, sì, si
tutto
vede.
qua.
That was from her freaking out. Oh my
Her hand
god.
jerked and hit the side of the cabinet.
I do that all the time. You can't bruise
E poi
like
perché
that
sei urlato?
easy.
Mi sono
No.
sentita qualcosa che mi toccava la spalla. Che mi toccava la
Non
spalla.
posso riaprirlo perché...
Mi toccava la spalla.
This is so. Look at their acting so bad.
Yeah, they obviously have a friend
Mi toccava la
in the
spalla.
cabinet behind them. You know, with the big grates that easily somebody could just be laying down and reach out from. I mean, come on. Come
Hai
on.
ragione.
And again,
This is
they're
so
influencers
fake.
that make their money off of paranormal stuff, so they have an incentive to fake it.
You're telling me they know how to find a like
Comunque, no.
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 No, no,
This is
no.
so fake.
It touched my shoulder. No, no, no.
Qualcosa mi ha toccato la spalla.
That is not the face of someone who's
E
genuinely
mi sono fatta
scared.
male.
Dobbiamo andare a mettere del ghiaccio.
Mi sono spaventata.
Yeah.
Debbie starts to freak out, and she feels like someone might be inside the wardrobe with her. Then suddenly a hand grabs her shoulder. In a panic, Debbie flees the small wardrobe and ends
That is
the
literally that's his
sign.
hand.
So could it be that this cryptic
I'm not even
ritual
kidding
brought
you.
out a dark supernatural entity?
That's his
Let me
hand.
know.
That's
down
her
in the
boyfriend's
comments.
hand.
Yeah, you think they shot it in separate things? I think
Japanese
it's a third
paranormal
person, but either
investigator
whether it's his
Takuchi
hand or
from
a
I
third
think it's
person.
right.
Takuchi camera travels to the old abandoned Shiriwa village
Takuchi
in
camera.
Japan.
So again,
The village
another
is now a ghost
influencer
town.
who
It has been
is
completely abandoned
incentivized.
for over 28 years.
Anyway,
Centuries
first
old
one,
graves of
I'm giving
former
that a
residents
2
can be
out of
found
10.
hidden away between
The jump scare
decaying
was
homes.
fun, but
Locals like to say
Yeah.
that these days, the only residents of Shiriwa village are the dead. In the dark of night, Takuchi begins to hear unnerving sounds coming from all around him as he explores. He starts to get a little freaked out and decides to take out his thermal camera to get a better look at what could be hiding in the dark. What he sees shocks him to his core.
めっちゃ周りからバチバチ音聞こえるから気づかれてないはずやけど
a Tanuki's gonna come out and it's gonna have giant balls.
ほらほらほらほら
That's the scariest thing in that video.
なんか来てるなんか来てるちょっと待ってちょっと待ってなんかおるなんかおるちょっと待ってほらなんかおるなんかおるマジほらマジマジマジマジマジマジマジほらなんかおるなんかおるなんかおるなんかおるなんかおるってほらちょっと待って近づいてみようか気づかれたまだおるまだおるまだおるよし
What?
ほらおるから完全におるなんかマジマジ
What the fuck?
完全におるよしよしよし
Okay.
今よし今はいチーズ
Hey, Jesus.
取れた
Polaroid.
いけた取れたか
Also, dude, put your mask over your nose.
あれちょっと待って何も映ってない嘘やろ嘘やろ明らかにおるなんかおるマジでおるマジでおるマジでおるマジでおるマジでおる何してんの何してんのはどういうこと何してんのはマジでおるなんかおるんよ
That was funny.
Just waiting for the fact it went in like a full
captures a heat
fledged
pattern that
sprint.
resembles a human shape. But when Takuchi
I
looks
also agree
around
with you,
his own
Haseo.
naked eye,
I
he
don't
can't
think he's
see
recording. I
anyone.
think that
Suddenly, the
is
figure
a
charges toward
video that's
Takuchi, and
playing
in a panic,
on the
the
phone.
investigator runs for his life.
I don't
I think so too.
I don't think that's
Takuchi has
yeah.
had enough and just leaves. So could this be the angry spirit of a villager who passed away in the old
He has a
abandoned
similar
Shiriwa
build to
village?
him.
Yeah.
Let me know what you think. You can watch this entire spooky investigation.
I mean, the thing running, it was just funny.
Takuchi Camera.
That running definitely had me like, oh!
Online or recorded one yourself, please send it my way at nukestop5@gmail.com.
That ghost that scared my
Slipping
mama.
through the trees. A little while ago, I featured the creepy story of Lauren
that last
Combs.
video, I think I'm gonna give that 2 out of 10.
Yeah, because it was like a whole lot of nothing.
Pretty
and
obviously
a lot of bad
faked.
acting.
Who over the course of a year
video was
captured
funny,
multiple
though.
mysterious unexplained events in her home in Waco, Texas.
Did you do that?
There's a cat.
The cat is controlling it. That's a car. Is that a corgi?
Oh my god.
Now, since these terrifying events, Lauren has installed a new security camera in her backyard. Because eerily, a lot of the strange activity at her home seems to take place in the wooded area just behind her house. So late one night, Lauren is hanging out and casually playing some Call of Duty with her roommate when their dogs begin to totally freak out for no apparent reason. What happens next
Give us more
is
footage of the
all
dogs.
caught on camera.
I won't be surprised. Oh, it's not a corgi. It looked like one from the view.
They're just go puppers. They're just go puppers. I like that bookshelf to the left of their TV.
Yeah.
I don't like the arrangement of their furniture. Why would you have a love seat like right in front of the
Something that is
TV?
going on outside the house. So Lauren checks
Maybe we're
her
playing
outside
video
security
games, I
cameras
guess.
and sees
Video
something
game
that
channel.
chills her to her core.
The fuck? What is that?
I don't know.
What the heck?
Someone or something can be seen quickly pacing or maybe even running back and forth along the tree line in Lauren's backyard. Lauren has no idea who or what this could be.
The video
and is
compression is
extremely
making
disturbed
that,
by
like, you
the
can
whole
notice some real
experience,
compression going on
especially
there.
after everything else that has happened in the past. So just what do you think is going on here? And what is this? The flyby.
Okay.
So, you know what?
What?
I was more inclined to say that with all of the activity happening on the edge of the forest and in their backyard, that they should genuinely be concerned that they have someone stalking their home.
Yeah.
But that last video.
It's a little unsettling.
Yeah.
I mean,
And the dog's reactions are what get me. It's very hard to get your animals to react like that. Like, as someone who's grown up with very protective dogs, you don't get that reaction of an animal easily.
yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it could be like all the outside stuff, and you know, that could be some sort of intruder. You know, could be just someone pulling a prank on them, or could be I don't see anything in there that really made me think paranormal stuff. I'm like, okay, a bottle fell over, but like a lot of things could cause that bottle to fall over, especially since she was standing right next to it.
The hair swishing one is interesting.
A little bit, yeah.
I'd wonder that, but like, yeah, like that's right. Like, if my dog's reacting like that, that typically means someone is hanging around the house.
But could have been a deer.
Outside.
Very well could have been a deer. Now, the doorbell ringing thing, that's one of those instances where, like, I'm going to go up to the door. I'm going to look throughout the door, and then I'm going to pan to the right and move forward a little bit and hold it there, and then pan to the left, you know.
And even if they weren't faking it, I'd be more inclined to say that they have, because it sounds like they're renting the house.
Yeah.
I would be more inclined to think that maybe this is someone who maybe lived in the house previously, or someone that's stalking the property, especially if they have a forest behind them. It's not uncommon for, you to have homeless people that live in forests behind you.
Yeah.
So it could be someone that's just harassing them on the property. I'm more concerned for their safety if someone's doing that.
Yeah, I agree. But I'm going to give that one a 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10 for sure. That did make me feel unsettled.
Yeah. All right. The Flyby.
This next video was recorded by pilot Cesar Murillo Perez, who was flying an Airbus A320 passenger jet at 29,000 feet in the sky above Medellin, Colombia. He suddenly spots something very unusual. He grabs his phone and starts to record.
Bentai, this one's for you.
Oh.
An unknown dark round object can be seen flying above the clouds at 29,000 feet. The pilot says that he has no idea what this object could be, and the footage still remains a mystery. So, okay.
The balloon's in the sky. It looks like it's moving very fast and relative to the clouds, but all that means is that it is much closer to the airplane than the clouds.
Yeah.
And so the airplane's fast movement and the relative position makes it look like that item's moving really fast over the clouds when it's not. So the plane is moving fast. The balloon and the clouds are stationary, but because you don't see any parts of the plane as reference, you just see something zooming by, and
it's all about perspective.
I hate the UFO cliche. It's a weather balloon.
Thank you so much for watching. As I say again and again, my upload schedule is crazy all over the...
Okay, thanks, Nuke's Top 5. I mean, I suppose I should say, it's like, hey, if you like these scary videos, you should check out Nuke's Top 5. They're one of the biggest...
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta give credit to these videos. Nuke's Top 5, thank you for making and putting up these videos. We may not agree with your assessment on them, but we appreciate you compiling and sharing these videos. So thank you, Nuke's Top 5. So I guess...
He does do a good job compiling.
Yeah.
I would give him that.
So, oh, there's your puppy again. All right.
Oh, boy.
Well, I think that's enough for our pilot episode. But here's something that we needed to do that I didn't do. I was supposed to do it in the month of December, and I didn't do it. Something I did last year, something that was a very big event. And that, of course, is the Bird of the Year award. And honestly, fine, it's Pesto. Bird of the Year is Pesto.
Pesto!
How could it not be Pesto? Pesto is the most famous bird in the news this entire year. It's
Arctic boy.
Bird of the Year goes to Pesto. Look at that giant fluke. Yeah. It's Bird of the Year is Pesto. Bird of the Year is Pesto. A check-in of our birds of the year from last year. I do have some follow-ups for all of them. Nubs is still healthy, doing fine, still rocking their shoes, still being a trans icon, so we love Nubs. And then, of course, the saddest of the news of last year's nominees is that, unfortunately, Flacco, the eagle, did pass away. He died by running into a glass building, but the autopsy stated that he did have high levels of rat poison in his body, so he was likely disoriented from the rat poison and crashed and died. So that's the sad one.
Baby.
And then our last nominee from last year, who has an update, is a much happier update because guess what? The now 74 years old Layson Albatross Wisdom has given birth to, or has laid an egg and hatched another hatchling. So the oldest wild bird on record is gonna be a mama again. And so far, the scientists say that the chick is doing well and has fledged. And congratulations, Wisdom. And we have an update on Murphy the eagle as well. This year, Murphy raised another baby eaglet. Now, this time he didn't incubate a rock like he did last year, but they had another orphaned baby eaglet chick, and they introduced it to Murphy, and Murphy took care of that one too. So Murphy's now a 2-time dad. So, I would say that's 3 out of 4 great updates on last year's Birds of the Year. For this year, the nominees that I probably would have done would have been Pesto, obviously, our winner. Yes. I might have nominated Wisdom again because guess what? She's still the oldest and still awesome. And honestly, having another chick this year, I think she was almost more deserving of it this year than last year. Mm-hmm. And the other bird that I might have nominated would be Apollo the parrot for getting into the Guinness Book of World Records for most items named. But I don't want to have a celebrity bird necessarily. Apollo's a social media darling. We love Apollo. Don't get me wrong, love Apollo. But I'm not sure Apollo qualifies for Bird of the Year based off of how they're famous. I don't know. But anyway, 2020
Pesto definitely wins it.
2024's Bird of the Year is Pesto. Only outshone as far as cute animals on the internet by Moodang. We love Moodang. So
I love Moodang.
I mean, who doesn't love Moodang? We love
amazing.
We love Moodang. We love Moodang. So we are going to end this first episode. Thank you so much, Bon, for being a wonderful guest. Now my question is do you have anything you would like to plug?
I do plan to stream tomorrow, and we're going to continue with chat designs of VTubers on my channel.
Looking forward to that. That should be fun.
Yeah. We started last week, and we got pretty far into it. This week is going to be choosing an outfit for them.
Nice.
But that's it because it's the new year in a few days.
Well, Happy New Year, everybody. We'll be back again soon with another episode of this, and maybe I'll just do not a 5-hour long. I mean, that video was interesting, but
it was really interesting.
But not the ghost videos we were hoping for most of it. It started out great, but then it got into just storytelling, which is fine.
Yeah.
Good on that video. But yeah, we'll probably end up visiting Nuke's Top 5 a lot, but we got to find some good conspiracy. If you have any videos that you want to see us cover on this show, please just send them to me on Discord or Blue Sky, and we might just cover them. So yeah, if you have a video that you would like to see submitted for the show, we'd love to see it. But other than that,
spookies.
We're going to call this episode done, and we are going to head on over to Susie Silky because chickens and birds, and we love Susie.
I love Susie.
All right, we will see you all next time.
Bye. I'm gonna have nightmares.
Yeah, me too. Not about anything I saw in this, but of everybody unsubscribing and unfollowing because it's so sad. No, it was great.
It's like the nightmare that I had last night about VTubers.
Thanks for the resub, DieFed!